Today we will be talking about Art Evolution by Marco Cochran, presented by Kevin Taylor, Madeline Tolley, and Jacqueline.
Art Evolution is a sculpture. It is made by Marco Cochran and is displayed in San Francisco, California. It was displayed in April 2025 until now. It was created in 2015, and the model is Deja Salas. And the symbolism from the artist is stated as feminine strength and liberation, and it challenges societal perceptions of the female body. It is a part of a project called the Bliss Project. It is following the Bliss Dance 2010 and the first image here, and the Truth is Beauty 2013 and the second image here. And the last image is Our Evolution. The other locations Our Evolution has been in is Miami Beach, Florida, Petaluma, California, Las Vegas, Burning Man, Black Rock Desert, and Nevada. It is a 45 to 48-foot tall sculpture with 23-foot diameter. It is made of steel rod and tubing and stainless steel mesh. It is approximately 32,000 pounds, composed of 55,000 welds forming triangles, as you can see right there. It simulates breathing through a mechanism in the chest for 1 hour daily and is illuminated internally with LED lighting at night. Here is a video of it breathing and of it being illuminated at night.
Sculpture work was organized by Building 180, a public art agency, and privately funded by the Sheridan Foundation that was displayed in San Francisco. In March 3rd meeting, when the San Francisco Art Commission approved the installation with an 11-to-1 vote, several commissioners noted that sculpture is controversial. Art Evolution sculpture, in a very old-fashioned way, is not a singular person, but a self-declared symbol of divine female energy. A giant sculpture of a woman made by a man that people should find out that this fiction of a woman is not entirely feminist.
So this sculpture was created with the intention of wanting to challenge viewers and wanting to show feminine strength and liberation through the sculpture. And the idea of how this piece came to be was his desire of wanting to represent women empowerment, women's voices, and the challenges they have had to face. And he wanted to show that through his art and through public art in general. And the sculpture features 16 motors in her chest to simulate breathing and to show how her energy radiates into the world. And Our Evolution is also part of the artist's Bliss Pro project, which is a project that contains 3 pieces. And I believe Our Evolution is the last piece to the series. And this series responds to personal experiences and aims to depict women as safe, strong, and empowered. It is intended to show social change by challenging people to see past the sexual charge surrounding the female body. And throughout the process of creating the sculpture, the artist has worked with many people. But one of the people that he worked with was Deja Salas, which was the collaborator and model for this project.
Our Evolution as a public art piece fits into different models depending on whether we think about it from its original location at the Playa of Burning Man versus its current place in the Embarcadero Plaza of San Francisco. If just considering the playa, Our Evolution fits the model of a public work that is considerate of its location and is ingratiated with the festival community, a site-specific work. When standing outside the ferry building, Our Evolution loses that context. It becomes more akin to modernist models of public art where a work is simply placed in a public location. Although this piece isn't necessarily discrete or fit for a museum, it fits the model of art for aesthetic's sake and without connection to the public audience of its space. The statue is privately funded, and since it's a temporary installation planned to last 6 months, there was no public input before being approved for the plaza by the San Francisco Art Commission. I think this quote from the Finkelper article describes Art Evolution as a public art model pretty well. Public art simply meant placing large-scale work in open plazas, marking them as unique, even as the strategy became generic.
Now we'll talk about the public opinion. Any form of public art is bound to spark some kind of controversy. This is especially the case when the sculpture is a 45-foot naked woman in the middle of a busy city. Public opinion is mixed, with some finding the sculpture empowering and others finding it disrespectful. While the artist claims to have created the sculpture to represent feminine strength and liberation, some find it unnecessary that the woman must be naked, saying, can she be powerful and present, but with clothes? It is reminiscent of the Guerrilla Girls' Do Women Have to Be Naked to Get into the Met Museum, a controversial advertisement that brought to light the lack of female artists displaying artwork versus the amount of art displaying naked women. Perhaps for some, the impact of the work would hold more meaning if the artist who created it was also a woman. Some people do find the statue to be powerful, others feel it's something to gawk at. Whatever the case, if there was anywhere for a sculpture like this to be presented, it would be San Francisco. While I assume the sculpture holds a different weight when seeing it in person, my current opinion is that the sculpture is, in a way, objectifying. Art made by men depicting naked women is nothing new, and I personally do not see how this is meant to empower women, especially those who have already been humiliated by sexual assault. To me, the sculpture is just meant to showcase an attractive woman at a very large scale. It holds no underlying meaning. I can understand how it can be inspirational for some, and I am glad that it is doing so. However, it personally just makes me feel uncomfortable. So while it is an impressive sculpture, I do not see the empowerment behind it.
I think that this piece is more successful as a public work at Burning Man and less so as one in San Francisco. I also agree with the concerns about the messaging of the statue. Despite the artist's assertions that this is a feminist art piece and meant to symbolize female empowerment, it reads more like just another female nude made by a male artist we've seen thousands of times before, but repackaged for the new age aesthetic.
My opinion and thoughts on this piece, I think it's a beautiful sculpture, but I did think that the sculpture of a nude woman was a bit inappropriate and objectifying. And though the intention behind this sculpture is supposed to represent women empowerment, I believe this message could have been presented in many other ways, like recognizing women's achievements and their contributions to society.
My personal opinion, I think it's a very good sculpture piece because many people in South San Francisco believe this work will be more successful because it symbolizes divine feminine energy. However, there have been some controversial criticism that sculptures to be appropriate to be displayed in the public, which might fail for people in the area to understand what the art piece was supposed to mean or represent.
All right, so my opinion on the sculpture is that the artist claims the sculpture is meant to empower women, especially survivors of sexual abuse, women in his life. And I, to be honest, I think that the public display of a large nude female figure can feel a little tone deaf and inappropriate, especially since I watched an Instagram video of him stating, like, explaining what the sculpture was. And at the very end, he says, yeah, guys, come and play with her. So it kind of invites a physical interaction, letting people in the public touch or grab a woman's body, which I think it contradicts the intended message. And I think the concept may have been more effective if it was framed in an effort to normalize women's bodies in public settings, maybe. And I think it risks reinforcing objectification rather than challenging it.